What's up? You live on the Boss Man Show. It's Jared the Boss Man. We have a good show for you. We'll be joined by RealGM.com, Shams Charania, to talk about the NBA playoffs with me and TrueSpeech. Then after Shams, we'll have our girl, Talisha, a.k.a. the goddess Intellect, to talk to us about some leadership talk, girl talk, me false talk speech. What you got going, man?
What's happening, dude? I'm vibing right now. I just got through watching this ESPN 30 for 30 on the Bad Boys, which is one of the most overlooked and historically great teams in all of professional basketball. I stand by that, and I mean that, and that was one of the best ESPN 30 for 30s I've ever seen. So shout out to not only the Detroit Pistons, but especially each and every member of that team, dog. Basketball greatness. Icons.
Okay. Hey, Shams, you heard his speech. He's a Piston fan. What's your feeling on his take on the Detroit Pistons?
What's up, Joe? How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to get to be back on air, man.
Yeah, no doubt. In regards to the 30 for 30, I actually wasn't able to see it. But obviously, I've heard all great things about it. Can't wait to sit down and actually watch it. And just growing up, obviously I'm from Chicago, so just growing up, Michael, MJ, the first team that always gave him issues was the Pistons. They'll always go down as that team you always have to get past. So obviously they're going to go down as one of the best teams assembled.
Yes, indeed. And let's get into it while we're on Detroit real quick. They got rid of Joe D. They moved him to another role in the organization. They fired Maurice early in the season. Do we see Lionel Hollins being the next coach of the Pistons, or somebody else might come up that we're not seeing right now on the radar?
Yeah, Jerry, I think they're going to hire someone, a fresh face, someone who's not on the radar. I'd be really surprised if they'd go after a guy like Lionel Hollins. I think that was a guy who Joe Dumars might have wanted if he was still as a head coach, but now he's not. So I think they're going to, hire a young executive. There's been a couple names out there. A guy named Scott Perry, who's the assistant GM for the Magic, and then Grant Hill, who's Pistons great, one of the all-time. When he was at his peak, he was rival. He was putting up the numbers LeBron James puts up now. So, and everyone regards him as a smart guy. He's well respected. So I think they're going to go after a fresh face in the front office and as a coach. I'd be surprised if Lionel Hollins is the guy there. I think he's going to be looking at more veteran teams. They're ways away from even being a playoff team. So I think you should expect new guys over there.
Cool deal. Well, let's jump into it. Got you on for some playoff talk. Series really catches my eye right now is that Clipper Golden State series, because they hate each other, first of all. And also, Memphis was close to home for me, and the OKC Thunder, another one. But what also catches my attention? A nice little matchup here. I like it. For some reason, I love this matchup. Washington and Chicago. I think it's going to be a hell of a series right there. And Toronto, I think, will probably that's probably be a Brooklyn and Miami. And Miami, they'll probably not want to see Brooklyn. I don't know what your feeling is about that, but I like that for Brooklyn. Playing Toronto, then play Miami, then maybe Indiana. They can be that dark horse for real and make the NBA Finals. What's your feeling about that?
Yeah, just going after, all the teams you listed. I mean, these are going to be some great series, and I know everyone was talking about how the East is bad, how it's terrible, and it was like that at the beginning of the year. But now you look at the seedings, and it's really matched up. Some teams that, as you said, the Clippers, Warriors, they don't like each other. Washington and the Bulls are right there, and they've been neck and neck all season. Washington take two out of three from them. Brooklyn has come on strong. Toronto has been they've revived their season. So I think all these matches are going to be close. I think the only teams that are really going to pull away are going to be Indiana in that first round. Although Atlanta could take them to 6, but I think Indiana has a good chance of advancing there in around 5-6 games. I think Miami should get past Charlotte in 5 games. And, man, on Brooklyn and Toronto, you got inexperience against experience. Really, that series could go in either direction. You have Toronto with home court advantage. So I would take Toronto in 7 games. But as I said, as you know, it could go either way there. Chicago, Washington, that's a series actually I'm going to be covering starting on Sunday. So It's going to be exciting, man. I know you guys have Memphis close over there. I think, one of the biggest things at the end of the season was who would end up with that 7th seed, who would be able to play Oklahoma City. And I think both Dallas and Memphis really wanted that 7th seed. Memphis was able to pull it out, and I think they're really confident going up against Oklahoma City. They beat them last year pretty easily. They have a scheme to defend Kevin Durant. They're a veteran team. They just pound you inside. They take advantage of you inside. So I think they have a really good shot at possibly moving on in the first round, giving Oklahoma City a really good run.
And I can tell you this from talking to people in the Grizz organization and my people in Memphis. They were hoping OKC lost to Detroit last night and the Clippers beat Portland. They wanted the Clippers one more time. They wanted them one more time.
But you know what, though? That was a close game last night, man. I didn't catch all of it, but I caught the parts that were important. And to be honest with you, I was shocked. I was honestly and utterly shocked that the game came down to the way it did last second. And I really thought Brandon Jennings had a good look at it, man. I thought they were going to shock the world. Now, granted, in real life aspects, it wouldn't have meant anything, but it would have meant something. You know what I'm saying? Because for a team like Detroit to be able to take OKC to that point shows some weaknesses and some chinks in their armor moving forward. But then again, let's be real. Detroit is Detroit right now, so it would not have meant anything in the grand scheme of things, but that definitely would have added a new dynamic moving forward with the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. And I think and I think that Oklahoma City, it all comes down to stars. You guys know this. It all comes down to stars in the playoffs. They have Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant. I just think they're too talented to lose in the first round to Memphis. But, it just goes back to confidence, man. I think both Dallas and Memphis were really confident they could beat Oklahoma City. They still are. I think Dallas really wanted it bad last night. That's why they kept pushing. They played Dirk over 30 minutes. Monte was playing a lot of minutes. So I think they really wanted that game. And Dallas has had success with Oklahoma City this season and in the past. They beat them in the Western Conference Finals in 2011. So I think Memphis is really happy. I as you said, and I think they wanted the Clippers just because of that rivalry. But I think Memphis should be really happy they got Oklahoma City because I think they have a much better chance of advancing because the Clippers are just a well-oiled machine right now.
Yeah, I will have to agree. Honestly, I don't want to say I like Memphis' chances against OKC. I think that Memphis is going to put up a much more competitive series with them being matched up with OKC. I think Dallas is at a point where, let's be honest, Dallas is an old team now. I don't think that their stars can really run with, Durant and Westbrook. It's just not going to happen in a playoff series. I think Memphis has always been competitive with OKC, and I think Memphis is a sleeper. A lot of people just for some reason continue to sleep on Memphis, despite the fact that they have been competitive every year. There's not been one year in recent years where you could just look at Memphis and say, okay, well, I know that they had a bad season. Memphis is a competitive team, and to be honest with you, if they are not taken seriously by OKC, their chances of getting put out are very high. People don't want to admit that, but if you really match them up, I like Memphis' chances. Are they going to beat OKC? Probably not, but there is a chance if given an opportunity.
Yes, indeed. And you know what? I would love to go to Memphis. I will be in Memphis. I'm going to make a trip to Memphis on Thursday the 24th. I will be in Memphis for that playoff game. But I really have to cover the Hawks and Pacers series, which kind of I have to cover that series. You know what I'm saying? It's the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks people are my friends, and they're my friends. But I can tell you both right here. Now, Saturday at the Heat game, I heard members of the Hawks organization hoping they lost to the Miami Heat, so the Miami Heat can play them in the playoffs. They weren't caring about basketball reasons. They're thinking about financial reasons. Because I'm going to tell you, I've been to Phillips Arena. The 400 level of that arena is never filled. But Saturday for the Miami Heat game, the 400 level was actually filled, no curtain up there, a full house. I will say 80% Miami Heat bandwagon fans, 20% people that's there that say they want to be there. Okay? But people in the Hawks organization were scheming for a loss to them so they can Miami can be play them in the playoffs. Now, Shams, me and you both know that's not a good matchup for them. But they wanted Miami just so they make some money. What do you feel about that being the same old Hawk mentality? Because, a lot of people tell me I'm hard on the Hawks, but the Hawks do very Hawk-like things like that, wish for losses to play Miami rather than win games. Truthfully be told, they want to miss the playoffs too. They want to make the playoffs, truthfully be told. So, but if they go, they want to play Miami. So where's your feeling about that?
I find that really funny. That is very Hawk-like. I mean, you got to give them props. I mean, they made the playoffs for 6 straight years. I mean, for whatever that's worth, I think they're going to get bounced. I'd be really surprised if they win more than 2 games in the series against Indiana. But man, I mean, this is a funny story that you have right there. All you can do is really laugh at it.
Honestly, I don't give the Hawks 1 game, and I'm gonna just be 100% honest with you. Let's just be real. We're talking about the Indiana Pacers. When the Indiana Pacers are firing on all cylinders and actually playing as a team, and whatever dynamic they have going on right now that is offsetting their team chemistry, they need to fix it and fix it fast because there's internal issues going on with the Pacers, and they're not, honestly, in my eyes, performing up to their levels and capabilities because they have a team made of young all-stars and young dogs that honestly are probably the best in the league, if not the best in the league. The Atlanta Hawks are in no way, shape, or form able to compete with the Indiana Pacers in a 7-game series. I don't give the Hawks 1 game. I give it a 4-game sweep by the Pacers if they can get their heads out of their asses and really play basketball. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think the entire East didn't really want to make the playoffs. I think the whole conference just tanked this whole season. I am just disgusted with the Eastern Conference on the whole. And the reason I say this, and I don't mean to get off topic, but this has been bothering me. The other day, I just looked at the records of all of the playoff teams. This is just terrible. Dallas, they have a 49-33 record. 8th seed in the West. Toronto, the 3rd seed in the East, has a 48-34 record. So you mean to tell me that the 8th seed in the Western Conference has a record better than the 3rd through the 8th team in the Eastern Conference? So not only did Atlanta not want to make the playoffs, I don't think Charlotte, Brooklyn, Washington, or Chicago really wanted to make the playoffs. I honestly think that they wanted to tank it just so they can clean up on this draft class that we got coming in because it is an extremely talented class, and I honestly think that some of these teams have been throwing and shaving games. There is no reason why the entire Eastern Conference should play this terribly. And I'm not even excited about the Eastern Conference playoffs besides watching Indiana and Miami again. That's pretty much it.
He laid it out there. Well, I will say this. I hope the Hawks can lose game 4 because guess what? The game starts at 2 Eastern. Okay, that means I got to be at Turner Field by 7. So I can make that game if the Hawks, lose quickly. So I feel like that day. So I'm all good. So if the Hawks get swept, I still make double money that day. So the Memphis Grizzlies hopefully will push the 6 games like go to Memphis on May 1st. So I'm hoping for a Hawk sweep and the Grizzlies make it to 6, and I'll make money all the way around. See, it's all about making money here. See, covering the game. Cover.
See, everybody got an angle why they want the East to tank it. Everybody wants the East to tank it this season, duh. Everybody wants the East. The East wants the East to tank it because we are trying to get all of these incoming freshman class of talented, and they're extremely talented young men that are coming in the NBA. The East wants to get them all. They want to get as much as possible and just load the Eastern Conference and be competitive because there's nobody from the East outside of Indiana and Miami that have a legitimate shot at winning a title. The Eastern Conference playoffs are a formality at this point. I'm not that excited about them. I'm probably going to be watching the Western games. I'm really, really waiting on this Clippers Golden State series because that's going to be the one to watch.
Ooh,
other than that,
that's going to be big.
The East, man.
Yeah, that Warriors Clippers has been crazy.
Yes.
Now, also this we can hit on this real quick. Dallas and San Antonio, there's going to be a sweep, Shams. I don't know about you, there's going to be a sweep. But the 4-5, Houston, Portland, That might go 7 right there. Those teams match up pretty well with each other. Kind of free-flowing, running, gunning, McKill and Stopps, 2 tall coaches who are laid back, fun-loving. That's going to be a hell of a series right there, man.
Yeah, I think that's one of the underrated series in the West and in the East. I think Portland can. I mean, Portland was one of the best teams in the league at the beginning of the season. Obviously, they fell off. A lot of that was because of inexperience. A lot of that was because of injury. But I think, Houston has so much more experience. I mean, you got Dwight Howard. He's been in the finals. James Harden's been in the finals. So I'd be really surprised if Portland would be able to advance there. I think they could definitely push it to 6 or 7 games. And then you talked about the Mavericks-Spurs series. I'm with you, man. I mean, I'd be surprised if Dallas takes a game. I'll give them 1 game just because they still won at home. But San Antonio, man. Once again, the playoffs, they just click on all cylinders. They've been clicking on all cylinders all season. It's just good. I mean, there was a stat that just popped up the other day. I mean, they didn't play a single player 30 minutes a game all season. They won 62 games. So, I mean, they're rested. They're motivated after losing the finals last year. I wouldn't be surprised if they go on a run like they did a couple years ago where they just keep sweeping teams and get to the West Conference Finals.
And I would have to agree. Go ahead, Speech.
Well, no, I would have to agree with you. San Antonio is a veteran team. Love them or hate them, I'm not really a Spurs fan per se, but I am knowledgeable enough to know the game to understand that is one of the best teams that professional basketball has ever seen. Like you said, they've been rested. They know how to rest. They know how to play. You're not going to outthink or outcoach Pop. It's not going to happen. And the weapons that he has, dude, they know how to turn it on during the playoffs every year. They know how to be effective. They know how to finish games. That's what sets them apart from almost every other team that is in the playoffs, is the fact that they have experience and they know how to finish games. A lot of these teams know how to play. Do they know how to finish when it counts? It's going to be the question moving forward. San Antonio and maybe Miami are the only 2 teams that I can say know how to close out games and close out series.
Agreed. Now, I'm going to say this. Now, I know you're not happy with the Eastern Conference, but think about this. Miami and Indiana have tough second rounds. Brooklyn for Miami and Chicago for Indiana, those are tough second-round matchups. And then for the Spurs, Portland or Houston matches up well with San Antonio, so not so much. But those are going to be a bear of a second-round series, too. OKC, the Clippers. I think OKC will beat Memphis in 6. I think the Clippers will win in 6. That's going to be an up-and-down, hell of a second-round series. So we have some good matchups, second-round series in Shams, with I think Brooklyn and Miami, Chicago, Indiana, and OKC and the Clippers. You can't go wrong there.
Yeah, your boy's sleeping on the East, man, but I'm telling you, some of these series are going to be close. And I think, a close series is a good series in my opinion. If you have a series going to 7 games, all these games are going to be tight. I think Toronto-Brooklyn's going to be really tight. The whole series, you can't really give the edge to either team. I think Chicago-Washington's going to come right down to it. And the West is just stacked. Your boy's right about that. The West is just head and shoulders above the East in terms of, just when you watch these games, it's just so different. I was watching the Dallas-Memphis game last time. It's like a joy to watch. Both teams are precise on offense. It's an up and down style. Obviously, Memphis plays a little bit more slower, but most of these Western teams, it's up and down. You watch teams like even the Clippers last night against Portland. They were playing a lot of their bench guys, and still, both teams were playing a lot of their bench guys, and still it was an up and down game, still in the hundreds. So I think, they're going to be some great series. I think, OKC has a great chance of getting the West Conference Finals. I think you're right that either Houston or Portland could give San Antonio some trouble. I think Houston would be probably the team that would be able to get by them if anyone is gonna. Because Dwight Howard, if you look at his career, he's played well against Tim Duncan. The Spurs don't really have an answer for James Harden, Chandler Parsons on the wing. So, and then you have Patrick Beverley just hounding Tony Parker. He's one of the best defenders in the league. So I think, that series is going to be great, too, if it gets to that.
You already know. Man, Shams, it's been quick, man. I told you it'd be 20, man. We right on schedule, buddy. Hey, when the second round starts, we got to holler at you, man. You know we going to call you, man. We got to talk about what happened tonight. We're going to do a research on this one, bro.
No doubt, man. For sure. Hit me up anytime.
No doubt, buddy. Hey, it's before you go, tell them about your column on Real GM about DeMar DeRozan, man, and the Raptors.
Yeah, were you able to read that?
Man, I didn't get to read it all the way, but I kind of skimmed a little bit before the show. I've been ripping the money all day. But please tell everybody about it, though. I want people to know about your work. I like my guests to be put on top. So I want you to tell them all about it, man.
I mean, with this DeMar DeRozan piece, just talked to DeMar about a week ago about his season. He told me, he never had a doubt he'd stay in Toronto, even though there were trade rumors about him. There was trade speculation. Just the story about the Raptors in general, just their rise out of in the Eastern Conference. A lot of teams thought there was going to be, a lot of people, a lot of teams around the league thought they were going to be tanking this year. Yet here they are with a 3 seed, no matter how weak the East is. It was good, good to talk to those guys. Talk to Patrick Patterson, Gudis Vasquez. So I just do a lot of, feature stories, columns like that, and hopefully I'll do some more in the playoffs, man.
No doubt. We'll be watching, bros. Hey, we know you're going to do it again, man. Take it easy, my man.
For sure, man, and hope everything's going well, and good to talk to you guys.
All right, buddy.
All right, bro. Pleasure to talk to you too, man.
No, my man, Shams Charania from RealGM.com, talking about the NBA playoffs. But now we're going to get into relationship talk with Talisha and Erica. Ladies, we had some men time for a minute here. We had it set up for ourselves with the NBA playoffs. Talking about that real quick. Ladies, how are you doing tonight?
Hello.
Doing wonderful.
It's Felicia.
Did you all enjoy that informative NBA playoff preview with us?
Oh, yeah, it was very informative.
I got distracted. I started taking selfies. My bad. I'm sorry.
Taking selfies.
Wow.
No, look here. That is very female of her speech.
Indeed.
That's what I do when I'm waiting. I take selfies.
But first, let me take a
Okay, look here. At least you didn't have okay, I got to get this off my chest. Triple U. Losers at the job who have work Easter egg hunts. People who bring Easter baskets to work for an Easter egg hunt. Those are triple U's, I'm sorry. You don't do that. You're a loser. Okay? I'm just saying.
If it's not a day where you could take your kids to work and they do the Easter egg hunt, absolutely. That is the biggest triple U that we've heard this year, and it's only mid-April.
So folks are doing this for real? I haven't even heard of this before.
Yes. Yeah, you don't want to.
What's inside the egg? What's inside the egg, though? Like, if it's money or something like that, then it's something a little different. But if it's just, I don't know. I'm a big kid. I would participate.
No, but no, we cannot have work Easter egg hunts. That means you're a loser. That means we have to go hide the eggs or go find the eggs.
I disagree because who wants to work? I would rather play. That's just me, though.
I enjoy big kid stuff, too. But I have to, unless those eggs have, like, a strip of paper that says, oh, you get like a 5% bonus this week or, whatever you do, then, yeah, there's no point. Because I could buy my own candy day after Easter sale. Same thing with Valentine's Day candy. Day after, everything's like 80% off.
Yeah,
I'm not doing the Easter egg hunt at work.
The losers who bought their Easter baskets to work, this participating in Easter egg hunt, you're losers too. So the person who planned is a loser. If you hid the eggs, you're a loser. And if you bought a basket to work, you're a loser. And if you dressed up like an Easter bunny or Easter theme, you're a loser too at work. because an emailer let me know about this earlier today, and I didn't like what I heard because I'm big on having logic. It's not logical to me. You know, I'm an adult. I don't have to. I mean, I'm not gonna be outside Easter egg with an Easter basket. You know, unless I'm America's dummy. We'll really get to him next hour. But I'm just saying, people. I'm just saying. But we're talking to Felicia now. We're gonna talk about some relationship talk. She has a book about friend benefits, the gray area in between. Interesting.
Hey, my favorite area to be in.
and also, she hosted Down the Section Show. Lord, no, we ain't talking about that too. This is a relationships and dating. So, Talisha, from Toronto, are you a Raptor fan? Are you a Blue Jays fan? You know what you got going on up there in Toronto? Are you into the sports? Or you're always taking selfies and showing off who you are to the people? Talk to us.
You know what? There's a whole lot of nothing going on in Toronto, but if I get tickets, sometimes I get tickets through my sister. You know, I'll go to the games. If I get a deal on tickets, I'll go to the games. I do enjoy watching them, but I used to be a really big basketball fan, and this is going to show my age, but when Jordan was playing, like I was so into it as a little kid. Now I'm not into it. I'm not into it. If I'm in front of a game, if I'm invited to a game, I'll watch it and I get into it and I'll pick a side. I'll pick a team and talk shit and everything. But otherwise, no, I'm not into it. And I don't watch TV. I'm pretty boring in that way, like when it comes to TV and watching broadcasts and stuff. But I like to be where the action is. So if I were invited to a game, I would go.
Well, I have an idea for you. You can come to Memphis or Atlanta next Thursday or next Saturday and watch a game with me.
Okay.
You know, I'm being real. We can get you a pass to the game and let you come down and enjoy yourself in the A.
Hey.
You know, because we need to get you out.
Okay, well,
we get you out Toronto. Get you on Beale Street in Memphis. You know, you'll meet our other co-host, Mr. Dominique. You know, the man himself, Nique Cooper. Nique was here. Ain't here tonight though, but he was here early. And his other name is TBN, which we'll leave that for the people to desire what that means, okay? But you know,
okay,
that's
well,
our man Nique. But Talisha, huh?
I said I will take you up on your offer when I'm in the A or in Memphis.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're in Memphis or in the A, let me know. We'll get you to the game because, you know, boss next push rings. Like I said earlier, me and the Atlanta Hawks are friends. Me and the Grizzlies are very good friends with each other, so we can work it out for you. We can get you in there some way, somehow. But talk about your book, Friend Benefits, the gray area in between, because you know what Friend Benefits to me is like, this is where people get emotional. It's supposed to be a no string attached arrangement, but when they're getting stroked up and done up, the emotions take over and they run wild in their feelings. Hallelujah, they run wild into it. And they go crazy. They get cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So, you talk about it, you have an agreement, you talk about what we're going to be, then somebody gets emotional, and then it goes south on you. Or I'm gonna tell you another way to do it too. They will say for the benefits, they'll give you some 1, 2, 3, or 4 times, and then cut off the benefits. That's how you sit for the benefits. That's the old backdoor cutoff routine with it. So talk about this. Because the benefits is very, very, very tricky. Me and Sweet have discussed it ad nauseum. Me and Erica talked about things with logic ad nauseum. What is your take? Because you wrote a book on it.
I wrote a book on it because there were different types of, and I talk about the different types of relationships that fit into the friends with benefits. So it's not just friends with benefits and just having like, I can't swear on the show, but having just a casual sex partner. It's not just that. It's also people who tend to go after, like if you're a woman, you go after men who kind of friend zone you. So I talk about that too. Because that's a type of relationship or a type of pattern that happens. I also talk about partners who get together and the woman thinks it's dating, or she confuses sex with dating, and then all of a sudden the guy's like, no, we're not dating, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. And I also talk about people who date with like no titles, and they don't want to bring that up, and they're afraid to bring that up, and then they catch feelings, really deep feelings, and then they're, they get confused, or they get a dose of reality and realize that no, this was just sex. So I talk about those different relationships. I talk about my own experiences with those type of relationships. I tell people, because it's mainly for women, but some men have read it, surprisingly. The first people to buy it were men. But it also talks about how to spot those relationships. So if you're the kind of person that keeps repeating patterns, I was definitely one of those people. It talks about, like, what to look for the key words and because I think women communicate more with language, whereas men communicate with action. So I talk about both. I'm like, what kind of keywords will you use if it's a relationship or if it's just friends with benefits? And what kind of actions? What are the actions that go along with that? So I break it down. So if you were confused or if you were afraid to ask whoever it is you're screwing what you are, this kind of helps you navigate that before. And most of the time we know, but we want to believe, especially women, we want to believe something else, especially if our feelings are involved. So this was it was healing for me because it was something that I had repeated. It was a pattern I kept repeating over and over and over again. So it was me just kind of healing and also giving advice at the same time, so paying it forward. That's what it's about, and it has a lot of, like, I put, like, embarrassing stories in there of stuff that's happened to me and my journey as well. And on the first page, like, there's a preview if you go on Amazon.com, and I talk about a story in there. Everybody who reads that first page is like, oh, my gosh, I can relate to that, and that's what ends up getting in that book is because of that situation. I'll just briefly explain what that situation was. I was seeing a guy. His name is Tony in the book, but I would barely see him. And I recall a situation where I was out with my girlfriends, and I was talking about how wonderful this guy is and everything, and they're like, it's not a real relationship if you don't go out on dates. And something clicked into my head in that moment, and then I get into the story and I get into the book. So I think a lot of women can relate to that. It's like, oh, yeah, we only meet on the couch, or we only meet at night, or you know what I mean? So I think that was the defining moment for me. I should have realized a long time ago, looking back now, but that was that shameful, embarrassing, and defining moment for me of what it really was, what that relationship or what that interaction really was. So that's part of what the book is about. It's not really talking about the actual, like, the casual sex friends with benefits, like that definition. It talks about a bunch of different relationships that kind of, to me, are confusing.
Well, that's good because a lot of people are confused by that. And you know what? A lot of people tell me that, well, Speech and Erica know this. A person told us that they couldn't even see their, quote, girlfriend due to the, quote, schedules and gas. So what if your schedule and gas is off? How can you? How does that work in that gray area in between Speech and Erica, Felicia? No, when that's off, schedule and gas.
Schedule and gas. I've never heard that before.
It was from a very special individual.
He's a character.
Okay, well, break it down for me.
We don't even have enough time in the day to break him down, baby girl. I'm telling you,
not him specifically.
It's a long list.
Means it really is a long, rather smelly list, but that's a whole other show.
A whole other show entirely dedicated all in and of itself to breaking down this individual.
But, okay, so basically when he says schedules and gas, I guess that's his very shorthand way of saying, due to scheduling conflicts, his work schedule, the girl's work schedule, plus a long distance thing. Gas is high. And so that's what he meant. It's just a really random, bad way of saying it by saying the phrase schedules and gas, but that's what he meant.
She was spinning him
That's
for the
still one of my
longest.
favorite lines ever, okay? I'm sorry.
And the excuse behind why he was getting spent was schedules and gas. And those are two inexcusable reasons behind any grown man not closing a deal because of schedules and gas. So I feel some type of way every time I hear that just because it makes my skin crawl on the inside from the sheer stupidity of that explanation. Schedules and gas. Because
you
it
can
is that
borrow
stupid.
money. You can borrow money and you can get what you want and where you want to be if you really wanted to do it.
God damn
I'm
it,
with
it's
Speak
tabs.
on
They
that.
take credit. You can go to check and go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what is it, checking the cash. I'm pretty sure every hood got a check cash in place. You can go get $800 today. All you need is a credit card. So it's like that's unnecessary to use that as an excuse. As an adult grown man, to use that as an excuse, I must have to view you as some type of way that is not in a positive light at all.
So wait, you're saying that that's not an excuse to see somebody?
No, that's not an
To
excuse to
not
not
see
see somebody.
To not see somebody, okay. So
Exactly.
this person was upset because that was the excuse?
No. He was getting played to the left. Let me break it down real quick in a short amount of time as possible. He was a trick, and he was getting played to the left. He didn't realize it. So his rationale and his excuse was because of schedules and gas, and we tried to illustrate to him that, nah, dog, it had nothing to do with schedules and gas. It had everything to do with you as a person. It had nothing to do with your excuse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never. Hey, okay, people. Never in your life tell a woman as a grown man you can't say to do the quote schedules and gas. That's a horrible take. I can't respect anybody with that take.
No, I can't. As a grown man, I can't call the chick and be like, "Yo, I can't come through. Why? Schedules and gas." Like those words won't come out of my mouth to this woman. It won't happen. I will say, "Hey, I got attacked by Martians. I got jumped by a group of ninjas on the way over here. Kung Fu Joe kicked my ass, and I have to go to the hospital right now. There's no way I'm going to be like, hey, schedules and gas, baby. Schedules and gas." What? You could just imagine somebody's face on the other end of that phone just cringing up like, what did you just say to me?
That's one of my favorite takes ever. Bad takes ever right there. But you know what?
Is this TrueSpeech that happened?
How about your show real quick? The Battle of Texas. We got 5 minutes on this hour. Tell us about your show.
Battle of the Sexes is I actually used to host a blog talk radio show called Menage Talk. So it was a panel, it was me and I was hosting a panel of 3. And I decided, I was like, I don't like being online. I want to see people face to face who I have on the show and everything. So I decided to make a live event out of it. So it's me hosting, I'm asking the questions, and it's a panel of 2 men and 2 women, and I have a theme, and we discuss relationship questions, and the audience chimes in. It gets heated, passionate, but it's all fun, and it's a great way to meet people, and even couples come out too. Couples come out too as their date night. We have shopping, entertainment. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So I do it in Toronto. I've done it in Oakland, New York, and I haven't released the 2014 shows yet, but in about 2 months, everybody will know the 2014 schedule.
If you come to the Detroit area, let me know. I will be more than happy to take part in this panel. I think I would have some great insight. My takes would be poignant. They will be clever. They will be witty. I will offend someone because you know me. I don't sugarcoat anything. So I think I would really add something to your panel.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll consider it. I hardly have a fan base in Detroit, so it's not somewhere I would go like right now. But I mean, I definitely have to build that up.
Well,
yes,
if I'm
you
in
do.
Toronto,
And you need to talk to the boss man too, because Lord knows I'm gonna offend. Love don't make somebody even get their foot to try.
You don't. That's all you want to do is offend.
It's not effective if it's not offending people. People get too comfortable in their own BS. You need to be offensive to shake them out of the confines of their own idiocy. It's just, you have to do it. You have to do it. If you're not offending at least one person a day, then you're not telling the truth to anybody at all.
Amen.
I like that.
Yes, indeed.
I like that.
Okay. In hour 2, that's what we got. The Boss Report is coming up, hour 2. We got America's Dummy stuff. Everyone can talk to Felicia more about the friend of benefits topic. We got stuff. We got our business next hour. So Boss Report, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be epic. The theme to it. It's gonna be stupid. Then America's Dummy, even stupider. And then we got more Felicia for you. Cause what we can do here. But we have some emails. Quote. I know people from Canada called the show. Really, Lex? Thank you for your dumb email. Thank you, Lex. What an idiot.
Okay.
Thank you. Justin in Horn Lake, Mississippi, wherever the hell that is, says, and I quote, "Yo, old girl sound good. Is she single? Thirst is real."
Sounds good.
Like, okay, here we go. Jackie.
America's finest, Alicia. America's finest.
Yeah. Jackie in Dallas says,
well,
quote, "Battle of sexes. Well, I know somebody who can sex me." Hint, hint, hint. What?
Way to go, America. Way to keep it classy for our friends up north. Thank you. You never cease to amaze me, America. You never let me down.
The thing is, nobody can see my face. That's what's worrying me.
At all.
No, they'll see you on Twitter and Instagram. Because they're 30.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
Find you. They'll find you.
Yeah. Oh, Lex will find you. He will search you.
Okay. Then we have an email from my man Rodney in New York City. Says, quote, "I love that NBA talk with you three. Why don't you let the girls talk? Because I know they ain't know about some, quote, ball action." Really, Rodney? You know about, quote, ball action? You're not clever.
Oh, my God.
You're not You're not clever, Rodney. Ball action? You want to wait for your ball action blast? Really?
Right, dog. You would never be an ambassador for America, bro. At all.
Bad emailers to get what? Worse emails. It's what happened. I'm like, Jesus Christ. That's why more of us, let's review is good for the show. Because when you email and call, they're usually bad takes. And bad takes get even worse takes. Henceforth, next hour. Okay? That's what we have next hour. More bad takes, but we'll make it be better. So people, up until hour 1, Shams Charania, Real Jim, Felicia, join us, the guy is Intellect. Oh, my. Oh, all right. Get ready for it. Next hour coming up in 15 minutes strong. People, we out. Biggie, take us out. And if you don't know, now you know.